Knit 1, Heart 2, episode 49.
Yay! I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie on Ravelry and Penny Winnie 2 on Spark People.
I want to say welcome to any new viewers who are checking us out for the first time. Thank you for trying us. Welcome back to any viewers who watched us before. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of the right phrase. Welcome back to any returning viewers.
Returning viewers, thank you.
Sorry.
And we have 748 members on the Rav group as of this morning.
Good.
Yay.
Let's see. Okay, I want to say thank you to Marissa for your generous donation.
Thanks, Marissa.
It was not necessary, but it is greatly appreciated.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
it will help us with postage for our Prize-a-Palooza because it's coming up. This is episode 49.
We have three more episodes.
Episode 52.
3 more episodes before our 52 anniversary, but I think that'll fall like a week after because we took 1 week off.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to remind everybody that this week it's Wednesday, so we have 1 more week until the end of the sock knit along.
Yeah.
And I'm almost wondering, is 8 weeks too long for a knit along?
Yeah. Maybe
Seems
6
a little
weeks.
bit. I'm thinking that maybe the next one
might be 6 weeks.
Might be 6 weeks in the middle of April. And a reminder on that one is we are doing shawls, cowls.
Anything for the neck.
That, no ponchos, no sweaters. And the prizes on that, I will mention in the baubles and blings because we have 1 more prize to add. So, but we do have, not the prizes for the March. We have prizes for this one that fit in with the March.
Yes, we do.
So, let's jump right into on the dance. Nope, 1 more thing. Nope, I'm right. Sorry. I'm reading my notes. Look, they're color-coded. You may not be able to see that. But I used one of those 4-colored pens because I was bored last night.
Oh, wow. All right.
I love these 4-colored pens. On the dance card, I'm going to just talk about what didn't receive any love, and that was my Wonderful Wallaby. And by Carol Anderson.
You need to come more into the camera.
Oh, I always do that. I'm sorry.
You're like way over.
Wonderful Wallaby by Carol Anderson in Patton's Shetland Chunky in a charcoal colorway, US 8 5mm, that did not receive any love, maybe a row or 2 on the sleeves, and I don't even think that much. As you can tell, I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold. And as Wendy also said, it's the first thing in the morning voice.
I didn't get any sleep voice.
Yeah, which I didn't really. But,
I think we're both kind of the walking wounded this morning.
So the Wonderful Wallaby didn't receive any love, but I have finished objects, and I will show love to it this coming week. I promise you guys that. The Toe-Up Socks with the Difference by Wendy Johnson, Gypsy Girl Creations, Transition Yarns, US 1 2.25. I don't think this received, but maybe 2-3 rows. Maybe 1 stripe because I'm more into the color transition. You can't see it. I got some yellow going on. You can't really see it, but so this is on my Chaigu needles, which I still like, but this also didn't see any love because I had something else that I was trying to get off the needle. What did see a lot of love is what I'm calling my rib socks, and if you remember this, I used this yarn. It's Snitches Uniques, which is 75% wool, 25% nylon. I was using this for Erin's pattern, No More Tears, Mommy Needs Yarn, for the autism walk, but it was too variegated and it was a little too tight for my foot. Well, for the foot that was intended for. So I took it out and I just did 2x2 ribbing, and I actually like it much, much better. So I have 1 sock finished, and I'm halfway through the other socks. So these are what really saw the love because I want to get them off the needles and send them to someone else.
Cool.
That I promised socks to, which I won't be doing that again. Not that I have any problem with it, but really I'm just going to stick to knitting socks for me and my family. Well, probably 1 or 2 other people too. But not this person.
I can't quite go there.
Not this person. I haven't talked to this person in a while, so that's the only other thing that's on my needles. actively. So really this week it was just the rib socks that got wound. That's all I worked. Well, and my 2 finished objects.
Yeah.
So.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all for me.
All right. So let me just get to the end of this row.
Sorry.
That's okay. I just cast on for my toe of a sock on my test knit sock. The final version that will be the pictures of which will be in the pattern, since the first one is like a Franken sock. All right. So on the needles this week, let me look at my notes. The only thing that got a lot of love this week is the Lysianthus shawl by Rosemary Hill, designs by Romy. It's available on Ravelry for $8.50. It's a very well written pattern, so it's worth the money if you're thinking of getting it. You start by knitting a motif, a flower motif, in US 3.25 millimeter needles, and then you complete the rest of the shawl on US 4 3.5 millimeter. Unfortunately, I am in the middle of a row, but I finished chart D and I'm on the second to last chart, chart E. And I would try to knit through to the end of this row, but I have to tell you, what is really slowing me down, this is horrible, you can't really see it. What is really slowing me down is that I realized that chart E has nups. 7 out of 7 into 7 into 1, and then purl 7 together.
Ew.
Purling 7 together is really hard. Now, I have a really tiny bead crochet hook, and I know some people do nups with that. I can't find what I did with it. So I have been doing the purl. You can see I've bent the needle with this 000 needle. Can you see how thin that is?
I have a small crochet.
Like, it's all bent.
If you want to borrow it.
No, I have one somewhere. This is working fine for me. Okay. I use this to purl through the nuts because it's so much thinner. I can get it through all 7. And I've just been storing it in my Diana Couture needle hoodie, stitch hoodie. So yeah, I wish I could show you how this looks. It's looking really gorgeous. I'm still enjoying this. I'm halfway through chart E, and then I believe there is one more chart. I have to look. Oh wait.
Yeah, one more looks.
No, that's the beginning chart. I don't know what I believe there's only one more chart. I'm not 100% sure. But I kind of remember it went to F. I'm right here in this chart. So, but there are a lot of nups. I have 2 more rows of 2 nups. And it's 2 nups every repeat. It's like nup, stitch, nup, knit. It's a lot. I did not realize there were nups. Another time I might not do the nups and just knit a stitch for them because you could. They will be very pretty. You can kind of see them here. It's the nups right there. Okay. They will be very pretty. It's just a pain to knit them. It slows me way down. Like I have been on this chart for 2 days because of the nups. I'm only on it's a 16 row and I'm only on row 8. So it just has taken me a while to get it done. But anyway, I'm working on it. I'm hoping I can power through this and get it done soon because I really want to have that off the needles. I'm feeling guilty about how long I've been working on it, and I want it to be done. So there's the Lysianthus, and that was in Ivy Bramble's Romantica in the Night Sky colorway from Yarn and Fiber Company in Derry, New Hampshire. The other thing that's on the needles that got pretty much no love at all, I might have knit a couple of rows on it, is my Crestview sweater by Cecily Glowick McDonald, which is available for $6 on Ravelry. It was kindly gifted to me for Christmas by Diane of the Knittables podcast. I am knitting it out of Classic Elite Duchess, which is a discontinued base. It's a merino, cashmere, angora, nylon, and rayon blend, and it's in a navy blue color. It's really pretty. And I'm enjoying it. It's a fast knit, but I feel guilty knitting on this while I have that Lysianthus. I have to get Lysianthus off the needles. So I'm enjoying it, but I think I only did 1 or 2 rows. I've used 2 balls of yarn so far. This is how much I have left of the second ball.
Oh, wow.
And Classically Duchess is discontinued, but if you live in Massachusetts, you can still get a sweater's quantity of it at the Hub Mills factory outlet store
In Burlington.
in Burlington.
No,
No, it's not in Burlington. In Billerica.
It's Billerica, Burlington line. Hot Mills is that a Classic Elite warehouse?
It is. It's a Classic Elite. It's run by Classic
Yeah,
Elite.
that's
It's their warehouse, but they also sell other yarns, as you will see in Baubles and Bling. So there's that. And then I have been working on my shawlette idea. I've been playing around with a couple of things. So that's been, I spent a lot of time on that this week. That and the Lysiantha shawl are the 2 things that I focused on. So that's all that I have actively on the needles right now. I'm not going to show you the shawlette because there's really nothing to show yet.
okay. Rate your date. I got rate your dates.
Yay!
And I was really trying to hope to get 3, but I have 2. And this is what received the love. So the first one I'm going to show you, and unfortunately, I feel bad. I'm not going to do it justice by any means. There's a little heartbreak to this one. So this is The Crossroads at the Coffee Shop by Carrie Steinmetz, Knit Pearl Girl on Ravelry and the Knit Pearl Girl podcast. I did her shawl pattern in Araucania Nature Wool. It's pinks and purples. I don't remember the exact color name, but it's pinks and purples. And I used 104 grams. So I had to break into my other skein for 4 grams. It's all right. So I didn't even wind it up. I just used it off of the skein.
Right.
And then skeined it back up. But the heartbreak to this is yesterday when I went to block it, I could not find my blocking pins to save my life. I tore my knitting room apart. I have 2 boxes of blocking pins.
That's weird.
It really is. And you know, of course, as soon as I buy new ones, they're going to pop up, which is fine. I can always use them. So I tried blocking this, hanging it over a door, hence the funny little bump.
Yeah, it doesn't look as nice
But
as it would.
no,
if she
it's
had
not.
her
It's
pins.
really a nice, lovely pattern, and I'm not even going to show you that part of it because it's disgusting.
I really like it.
It was really easy and quick. There's a lot of stitches.
Yeah.
But it's a worsted Aran weight. It went really quick, and you could read your pattern really easily. So if I missed a stitch, I knew right away.
Oh, great.
So this is Crosswords at the Coffee Shop. I really like this shawl, and it will be properly blocked next week because I will be buying new pins. It's a fantastic pattern, and I was so happy to test it. Thank
Good
you,
job,
Carrie,
Carrie,
for letting me do that. I really appreciate it because I really do love it, and it may be going to somebody else for a donation, but I have to talk about that first. So the next one I finished, and anyone who's on Plurk knows this. I finished my baby blanket, and actually I think I posted it in our thread too.
I think you did.
My baby blanket. I'm going to stand up on this one and maybe not even get the full effect. Yeah, just about. So it's slightly rectangular, slightly square.
There you go. Beautiful.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. It's all J. Crew Beach.
It is so J. Crew.
It's 100% cotton in various kitchen cotton yarns, with the main one mostly being the cream. Unfortunately, I do not know the color names because as soon as I took them off the ball bands, they kind of went into the trash.
Yeah.
I did have a question from TMY and HNL, which is Betty. She emailed me and she said she paused. I think she said she paused the video to email me real quick because she was concerned about the bleeding of the red. Which I completely understand. The good thing is I did do a test swatch, so to speak, with red yarn and some other yarn, and I soaked it. And by the way, this has been washed and dried, ends woven in and everything, washed in a washer machine, and dried in the dryer, lightly dried, not like, you know how like you blast your towels.
Right.
It probably will shrink a little, as anyone who uses kitchen cotton dishcloths know that. I did do mine on a larger size needles in
Preparation.
for this.
I have to explain why I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at you, Betty. When we first showed that Sheila was going to use red cotton, my mother literally called me as soon as she saw the episode and said, "Tell Sheila to test it for bleeding before she knits it together," because she was so afraid it would bleed.
It's a little different red, and I knit with the red that I know exactly what you're talking about. This is not. This is more of a fire engine red. Or a candied apple red.
Whatever they've done with it, it's not a bleeding red.
The red that I've used before that can bleed, it's much more of a richer, darker red. But here's a good way of showing the colors.
It came out so pretty.
I love this, and
I think you should gift it that way with a ribbon tied around it.
I'm thinking about it because I really like how it shows off the colors. And then I'm gonna, after I do whatever else is on my needles, I'm gonna start making bibs out of all these colors and whatever I have left.
Use that bib pattern that I use. It's awesome.
I am. So Betty, also just to let you know, if I was concerned about bleeding, I would probably use a vinegar bath to do it, or some of those sheets. Some people have used those
dye catcher sheets.
Yeah. So, but good call, Betty.
My mom was worried about that too.
Well, I sent back to Betty a note saying I really appreciate it. It was brought up to us by your mom.
My mom called me
and
tell Sheila to stop.
But it's good to know that because sometimes you don't think about it.
You know what? It didn't occur to me.
I'm not a dyer, so I wouldn't think about that. But I did wash it pretty much how I think she would wash it. I will recommend that she doesn't wash it in hot.
Yeah, I think
as much as possible.
Mistake, but
because the hot will probably
shrink
it up more. But it's soft and squishy, and this is going to be a blanket that she could either wrap around the baby or put the baby on.
Yeah, to play. It's a nice,
it's a very nice, blanket.
Easy to keep clean.
Somebody also asked me how I wove my ends in, and I don't know how you do yours.
Yeah.
Here's my ends. You can't even see them. Right there. I do 2 lines of it. I go down one way and then back another. The ends will probably start peeking through as wash goes on, but it should never untangle. Right. It's the same way I do my socks, and I've never had a problem with my socks untangling.
Me either. I always go one direction and then another.
Yeah.
Just so that it can't.
It's like a zigzag. So yeah. So those are my 2 finished objects. This is what I really focused on this week in my socks, and so
good
I was
job.
Really happy. Yeah, I was super excited to get things off the needles.
So for me, my rate your date, I have nothing to rate, and last week I told you I was going to block the Spectra shawlette that I did from Stephen West, and because I procrastinate, I was going to do it last night, and for reasons I will explain more in the Crushes and Heartbreaks, I was unable to block it last night, and I really want to, I could have just wet blocked it, but I really want to use those Infinity blocking wires so that I can tell you how they work, and I will definitely be able to get to it by next week, I'm assuming. So
hopefully.
I wanted to give it the full treatment so that I can take pictures and show you about the blocking wires. So next week I'll show that. This week I got nothing. So sorry.
Whirlwind romance.
I do have a whirlwind romance.
Right, I got sleepies in my eyes. Sorry.
I showed you last week I was working on Fat Cat Knits 6 ounces of Polworth in the Wayfarer colorway. I did manage to 3-ply. I think it came out to just over 4.5 ounces of it. So I have like 1.5 ounces left.
All right.
This is it. It's a natural 3-ply. It's mostly a fingering weight. You pull it out. It puffs up. It's mostly a fingering weight. It does puff up with it poofs. It was really cool. I love it. I think it came out really pretty.
It's pretty. And what's your plans on this?
I don't know. I made it in a fingering weight. I might do some kind of a shawlette with it. Like maybe something like this would be really pretty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it's got this variegation from the, because it's a 3-ply. This is the first time that I 3-plied, a natural 3-ply. I've done Navajo plying before, but this is the first natural 3-ply that I've done with my new bobbin. So that was a lot of fun. Came out pretty. And I have another, I'm guesstimating about 150 yards. This came out to 316 yards. So I'm going to have, I don't know, like 400 and some.
Oh, good.
So I should have enough to make like a long shawlette, like a narrow shawlette like this. I think.
Well, this is, she has a shawlette and a shawl version. And the shawlette, just, I didn't explain it, sorry. The shawlette doesn't have this deep little crescent shape.
Right.
Done with short rows. So the shawlette kind of looks more like this across.
Yeah,
And
I think this
you
would be
able
really.
to do that.
I think this would be really pretty.
I think it would be gorgeous.
Because it has the texture on it, and it would just, I think it would really show off this yarn. So I'm saving it for something, if not this, maybe the other one that she gifted us the pattern for. The
Walnut Grove?
Yeah. And just make it be a narrow, like a scarf, more of a scarf than a shawlette, since this is mostly fingering weight.
Pretty too.
But I really enjoyed, this is the first time I've spun Polworth. I really enjoyed Polworth. And the next thing, this is Fat Cat in its Wayfarer colorway. I can't remember if I said that. And the next thing that's going to be on the wheel for me, hopefully soon, is going to be my Into the World completely twisted and arbitrary spin along, which is the Guider colorway and its coordinate, because I'm going to 2-ply that. And that is a Polworth silk blend, and I've never done any kind of a silk blend, so I'm excited about that. So this is my whirlwind romance for this week, and I should have another 100 or so yards of that to show you later.
Okay.
And that's it for whirlwind romance.
All right, for future dates, I want to finish my socks that I have on the needles, which the way that I've been working it shouldn't take that long. And I want to work on Max's hoodie. I really want to get that done with our weather lately.
I know.
The good thing is even if he grows, he's going to grow tall and not out.
Yeah.
That's how my kids grow. Unfortunately, I don't, but I grow out and not up. And then I have that little secret knitting that I have to finish too.
Oh, me too.
But other than that, once I get all of these off the needles, I'm not talking about the my toe up with the difference, although I'd like to get those off the needles too. Then I will cast on something new. And at that point, I'll decide what I'm feeling like. Because I do have to do some baby bibs as well. I'm going to hold off on any more baby knitting until the baby's here, because it's supposed to be a good size. What to do?
I just knit with the wrong end.
So,
okay, this is why I shouldn't knit while I'm on the podcast.
That's my future dates, is just finishing what I have on the needles, because they've been on for too long. Max's sweater has been on for far too long. It needs to come off.
I know. That's how I feel about the Lysiantha shawl. So, for my future dates, I did remember to bring the pattern this time. It's the Get Back backpack. And it's from a book. I can't remember the name of the book, so I'm really sorry about that. But it's Get Back backpack, and I'm doing it out of my hand spun in these 2 colorways. They look very similar. I think I'm going to do it stripy, and it is for my daughter, but I can't work on this until I get the Lysiantha shawl done. So that's right around the corner. It's all together in its handy little project bag. But I won't work on that until everything's done. So that's it for my future dates.
And I just want to step in right now and say a thank you to my husband. This week is vacation week, and if you can hear, no kids, because my husband was nice enough and took them to our local playground, which is within walking distance, so that
they wouldn't interrupt, which is nice.
And it's a gorgeous day. It's supposed to be like 58 here.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to have a little group play date after this,
so I just wanted to say thank you to him.
Yes, me too. Thank you, Cam.
So that goes right into our crushes and heartbreaks, which was kids on vacation. My brother is dating a woman with 2 girls. It's the closest thing I get to be to an aunt right now. And I had them sleep over on Monday night. Because because I'm all messed up with my time frame here. Monday night, which was fabulous. I guess one of them was a little nervous, and the mom asked me about her, and I said I would not have known because she was fine. And we had a lot of fun. The kids played really well together, and we had a lot of fun.
That's
it was great.
That's fun.
And I'm sure I have some more crushes and heartbreaks. Sorry. I guess maybe I'm ready to get up for the phone again. I don't know.
It's like,
Ready to bolt.
There we go.
That's it for me for crushes and heartbreaks.
I have a heartbreak. I went skiing. I go skiing with my husband's work every year now. We do it every year. It's a group thing. We get a group rate. And we went on President's Day, which is Monday. And I've been skiing since I was little, like maybe 3 or 4 or 5, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I know how to ski. My husband doesn't know how to ski. He's from California, and my kids just started learning last year. So none of them can really ski that well. And I guess it was like a perfect storm of incidents leading up to my heartbreak. The first little step in it was that my husband failed to call and register the children for the ski school until 2 days before we were going, and they only had slots available in the afternoon from 1:30 to 3:30. Normally we put them in from 9:30 to 12:30, and that's really good. And then we do a little family skiing afterwards on the bunny hill. So we got there, and we ended up spending the morning until 12:30 with the kids on the bunny hill, and I did most of the skiing with them because my husband's not really that good at skiing. So I was having them stand in between my skis, and I would hang on to them and help them learn. And by the end of the 3 hours that we skied, I was totally tired. But my daughter was able to go down.
You were doing snowplow the whole time.
I was doing snowplow the whole time with my kids, my body weight and my kids' body weight. But my kids were both able to go down the hill alone at the end. So I felt like, it was a really good thing. We dropped them off. I took my husband on one run. It was a longer run. We went to Wachusett Mountain in Massachusetts, if anyone knows the area. I took my husband on one run. It was a longer run that went above the bunny hill a little bit, and he fell down about halfway down. He fell really hard. It was very icy. By the afternoon, it was very icy because it was sunny and it's all man-made snow because we haven't had any snow here. And so he fell down and he hurt his hip. And he's like, I need to take a break. I really hurt myself. I just want to sit down for a few minutes. So I said, well, as long as you're going to do that, I'm going to go up by myself to the top of the mountain and do one of the blue square trails because it's a little more challenging. The bunny hill is like, it's flat, basically flat. So that was the second step, is that I went skiing by myself on a harder trail when the conditions were icy. I got about halfway down and my legs were burning because it was so icy. I was having a hard time controlling my skis. Like my legs were killing me. So I actually stopped halfway down at the side of the trail and I rested for like 10 minutes because I was like, man, my legs are blown from the morning skiing. I am too tired to ski this trail when it's icy like this. So then I started down again and I came over a rise. It was sheer ice. My skis went out from under me, like like that. And I landed and I literally heard my knee pop. It was like, and I knew that I did something to my knee. It hurt so bad. I thought I was going to throw up. It really hurt. So some people saw me fall and they came over and they asked if I was all right. And I took my skis off and I tried to stand up and I couldn't put weight on my knee. It was like totally off. So I had to have the ski patrol come. And this guy who weighed like 5 pounds and was like 12 took me down.
It's always somebody small.
I know. So I'm like, really? I don't know. He took me down in the sled, which is so humiliating. Mm-hmm. And they splinted my leg in this cardboard box, like this long tubey box that's like this. They put your leg in it and they tape it up. And they called my husband, and my kids were still in their class. So my husband drove the car over to the EMT tent, and they lent me some crutches so I could get to the car, because by then I could put some weight on my foot, but it really hurt. And I couldn't get in the car. My leg splinted. We had the seat all the way back. Jim's like, scooch up. I'm like, no, man, we're taking the split off. I can't get in here. I would have had to like lay in the back of the car. So I took the splint off, and then he drove me over to the lodge, and we waited until the kids were out. And by the time I got home, I could walk on it. It's messed up. I have a brace on it right now. I've been doing RICE, R-I-C-E, rest, ice, compression, elevation. I've been doing that. It's much better today. I don't think I need to see a doctor. I think I have really loose tendons around my kneecaps. If I sit cross-legged too long, my kneecaps will pop out. They'll pop out. I think that's what happened when I fell. I think it popped out and went back in. I think maybe having loose tendons like saved me from a worse injury.
Oh, maybe.
Like I think it popped out and went back in, and I think that it always hurts when it does that for a couple of days afterwards. But that's why I couldn't block my shawl, because I literally could not get down on the ground to I usually block something big like that on the floor in the basement on the carpet. There was no way I was doing it. And I don't know how long it's going to be before I can treadle my spinning wheel. It might be a couple more days before I feel like I can treadle. I don't know. I can kind of make a treadling motion. Mostly what happens is my knee will hyperextend if I walk on it a certain way. So that's why I got this brace, and I don't know. Anyway, that's my heartbreak. I am officially too old to ski for more than 3 hours without injuring myself.
Hey, I haven't even tried that. So.
Yeah, so it is what it is, but that's it.
So we're going to go on to Baubles and Bling. And we each received, and of course I can't get it now, we each received a pattern from Kathy Moynihan, or Katham.
Kathom on Ravelry. It's called the Rosebud Trellis Cowl. It's super pretty.
It is really pretty, and I'm trying to pull it up
trying to get a picture of it.
There's a reason why. No.
Yes, there is a big reason.
And
Sheila and I each got a pattern.
We each got a copy of the pattern.
And I will be knitting it during the knit along. And she's also offered to gift one pattern to one of the winners of the sock knit along. So we will be offering one of those. It's really pretty.
That's the Rosebud Trellis cowl.
It's so pretty. I'm going to knit one for myself. I think it's knit in Sport DK.
It's, I think it is.
I am going to knit one for myself during the neck knit along because I think it's really pretty. And the winner of the pattern for the sock knit along could use that pattern to enter in
it's
neck knit along.
A DK. So the other prizes we have, and again, thank you to Kathy Moynihan for the Rosebud Trellis. I'm going to show this picture because this shows it open a little bit.
It's really pretty.
There we go.
You can check it out on Rav.
Yeah. And you need, for yardage-wise, 200 to 210 yards of a DK.
I have a cashmere blend DK that I'm going to use.
So we're also giving Ivy Bramble's Romantica Skein of Lace away.
Yeah.
And Lisa Beamer of 90% Knitting, also Fiber Nyms Dye Works, has also donated Twisted Entwining to us, which is a cowl as well. It's a cable cowl. I believe I showed that last week.
Yeah.
So we want to just say thank you to everybody who has donated to the podcast for our prizes, and we appreciate it.
We do appreciate it.
And we'll jump right into gossiping.
Oh, no, I have Bubbles and Bling.
I'm sorry.
I'm just left out in the cold.
Well, I'm just watching the time.
Well, we have a little extra time because of the phone call. We had another phone call this week.
No, I wasn't watching that time. I'm watching that time.
That time? Yeah. So here is the Baubles and Bling that I forgot to put on the table, that I forgot I bought. I know. Every time you see it, ooh. There's like donut on it. It must have gotten from the bag. All right. So anyway, this is Malabrigo sock that I bought at the Hub Mills store, which is run by Classic Elite, in the Solis colorway, S-O-L-I-S, also known as colorway number 809.
Oh, excuse me. So
I got 2 skeins because I want to make some kind of a shawlette out of it.
Gorgeous.
A big one, a big warm one. Like I needed any more sock yarn, but it was so pretty, it just called to me.
Malabrigo. Malabrigo March.
Malabrigo March. Yeah, I might have to make something for the neck out of this if I ever get all my other stuff done. So yeah, definitely check out the Hub Mills store. They have a lot of really great prices on Classic Elite stuff.
I think they're online too. You can order online.
Oh yeah, but you can get like discontinued stuff and some really deep discounts on the Classic Elite stuff, and they do carry a ton of other bases and brands. They don't just carry Classic Elite, so there you have that option too. This is so pretty. So there's that, and then I got the February installment of the Into the World Fiber Club. I get a double dose. This month's colorway was actually, the inspiration was provided by Erin from Mommy Needs Yarn. And it is called Mercy Hardigan.
It's gorgeous.
It's a Doctor Who. It's Wensleydale. It's very...
I was watching a podcast who had spun that up and was commenting on it.
You have to spin this. I'm nervous about spinning it. Fortunately, in the group, a lot of people have offered comments on the best way to spin Wensleydale. It's not going to be good for right next to your skin.
It's a rustic.
It's a rustic wool. It's very wiry, and you really need to spin it with a loose twist in a very lightweight, like lace weight. So that's probably what I will try to do with this. It'll probably be a 2-ply lace weight, and I'll make a shawl or something out of it. It's so pretty, and I have 8 ounces of it because I get the double dose. So I love the colors. I've never spun Wensleydale before, so I'm excited to learn how to do that. And I can't wait to see what the next installment is. And I'm so happy that I did this club because I'm really getting exposed to different bases.
Some nice different bases there.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not going to be, I'm nervous about the Wensleydale, but I'm not going to be afraid about it because I'm just going to, you know, do what I can do. So I'm excited, but that's way down the line. I got to do that Polworth and Silk Blend first. I'm really excited to spin that. That's going to be gorgeous. So that's it for my Bubbles and Bling.
Gossip and Innuendo. I first want to say thank you to all the podcasters because you guys have been keeping me awake. So I don't mention it on Plurk because honestly that's all you'd ever be getting is I'm watching this, I'm watching that, and I watch you all. But last night I went through a podcast-a-palooza. I was just watching everybody. And I was watching Knitting in Circles with Amy and Darren. They're the husband and wife.
Right.
And I want to say it's Froggy Monkey and DJ Knits a Lot.
Yeah.
I know it's DJ Knits a Lot, and I'm not sure if it's Froggy Monkey. So Amy, if it's not, I apologize. But I wanted to talk to you on a couple of things because I think did she mention us? I don't remember. But she mentioned a few things, and I don't have my notes here because I wrote down notes. She was talking about washing all her socks all at once, and she said that they were still bleeding. And makes me want to ask her, what wool wash are you using? Because what's the wool wash that
Soak has essential oils in it, and it does tend to draw out loose dye that regular other washes won't draw out.
Because she had mentioned the Thuja socks that her husband had made, and she's washed them 6 or so times, and they're still bleeding, and that's what makes me wonder if it's the wash.
It might be the wash. Soak does tend to draw out.
Right.
It's not taking away dye that's coloring. It won't. Your socks are not going to get lighter and lighter. But for whatever reason, somebody explained this to me on a dyeing board. It releases dye particles that are not like into the yarn. I don't understand it.
And I also wanted to mention, because this is what made it stick out, they were talking about their curtains, and she got new curtains, and she got the wire rods like I have from IKEA.
Yeah.
And so I guess Darren was giving her a hard time because they do sag, and I have them as well, and they do sag. We have several brackets. We have long windows, but we have them so that the post is sticking out like this, and the wire goes across. And Darren was saying that they were meant for this, and I'm not sure if they were or not.
But if you turn them this way, they won't sag so much.
Well, I guess this is how she has them. And he's saying that they're sagging because they're that way.
Oh.
And no, what it is you just need to probably get more posts. We still need to get one more post to keep it up on the other side of the window. We're looking at it because we can see them.
Here.
So when
they look good from here.
When she said that, I wanted to do a shout out because we have them as well. And you really have to tighten them up tightly. And then she also mentioned she did Melissa Meliabella's pedestrian crossing cowl, which is one piece and then you button it, out of Araucania. You and I have Amy, you and I were just connecting this week apparently. Out of the Araucania, and she said it was sticky, and that was one of the things I wanted to mention. I think I mentioned to you, when I was winding this into a ball, it is very sticky from the skein. That's why with my second skein, I had no problem knitting from it because I knew it would stick on itself.
It is, and I think it's because it's a little bit of a rustic wool.
It's nice, and actually, smell this. I was desperate.
It smells
Not
good.
that I didn't have soap. It was just I use Eucalyptus, but it was downstairs because I've been washing my socks in the washing machine with Eucalyptus. So I want to say this is Dove body wash.
It smells great. I noticed the smell earlier. I'm like, wow.
Which I was thinking, I'm like, what can I use? It's wool. Dove may not have been the best thing to use.
I used air conditioner on my scratching
That's
wool.
why I was using it. I figured it could soften it up. Excuse me. Excuse me again. It would soften it up and smell nice. And it didn't bleed. Yeah. So, Amy, just check to see what kind of wool wash you're using. And
Eucalyptus doesn't make it bleed as much as soap
maybe
does.
Check on Ravelry and see what kind you're using if that causes bleeding. But when you were saying that, that's the first thing that popped to my mind, especially after you've washed pair of mittens 6 times.
I'm a huge soak devotee or whatever. I love that stuff, but it does make certain yarns bleed a little. So it's just something to...
And isn't it more... certain scents make it even more so.
Yeah.
So I just shout out to you, Amy and Darren. I love your podcast, and I love everyone's podcast. Really, you guys keep me awake at night when I'm working.
Yeah. So is that it for your gossiping?
Well, there was one other thing that we mentioned. Spa, which is this weekend. It's Knit and Spin in Freeport, Maine. We're hoping to meet up with Heather of Highland Handmaids or Boutros Babe on Ravelry and Fiberista Files on podcasting. And I'm not sure if Katie's going to be there or not.
I don't know. Katie said she was going to see if she could go, but I don't know.
So my husband's going away tomorrow into Friday, so I think I deserve it.
I think you do too.
So,
I will definitely be there. I'm hoping Sheila will be there. We're going to go up early in the morning.
It would have to be after 8.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know, because...
Are you working?
I am.
Man. Well, you can sleep on the way up.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. It's just, if you wanted to go any earlier, it wouldn't happen.
No. If we leave at 8, we'll get there around 10:30.
That's not bad. So, anyways, that's all I have for gossip and innuendo.
So my gossip and innuendo, I actually have 2 test knitters who have finished one of my socks each, which is very exciting. And I'm so glad that I had them test knit because there were mistakes in it. Like, remember how I spaced the pattern weird, and I guess I wrote it that way and I didn't fix it. I didn't.
The chart is right, but the written wasn't?
There's no chart. The chart
tells you how much I've been paying attention.
She hasn't done anything.
No, I'm trying to get everything off my notes.
So I cast on mine because a couple of the things I can't visualize exactly what the issue is that I need to fix. So I need to knit my sock, my real sock, since the other one is a Franken sock. But hopefully that'll be done soon, and then I'll put it out and I'll show you the Franken sock and the regular sock so you can see what I did. And then we're going to, let's pick the winner for the...
Well, technically we already did.
Yeah. We ran the...
I ran the random generator, and there were 13 comments on our blog, and we really appreciate it.
And this is the book. This was to celebrate my 6 years of survival.
Oh, sugar. No, that isn't the winner. But I did pick the winner.
What number 4? It was number 4, right?
Oh, it was. All right. Yep.
Number 4.
This is just all the comments so that you guys can see. I'm sorry.
And the number that generated.
The number that generated. No.
Don't accidentally delete it.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. The number that was generated was 4. Can you see it?
No.
There we go.
I believe you. It's number 4.
Okay, which the number 4 winner, and I'm going to read your comments, so I hope you guys don't mind that, is Moira, Moira.
Yeah.
She says, love the show as always. I really related to this one. I was also born with a congenital heart malformation. I had major heart surgery at 10, and I too celebrate my heart day every year. Sometimes I do it with others and sometimes I do it privately, but I always take time to remember that without the big traumatic, perhaps, day, I probably wouldn't be here and I certainly wouldn't be doing as well as I am now. As for being thankful for what we have instead of what we don't have, I decided to blog every day in 2012, which I've read. It's a great blog. And say what I'm thankful for that day. It's iknityou.blogspot.com. It has made me stop and smell the roses, so to speak, instead of going to bed frustrated or thankless. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's a bit harder. But once I have sat down and thought about what I am thankful for, I'm always in a better place. So Maura, congratulations. And she is Roxanne, or RRR Roxanne on Ravelry.
PM me with your address, and I will send this to you. Vicky Howell, new knits on the block.
So congratulations.
Which is kind of super cute.
And thank you everyone for leaving a comment on the blog.
That was great. And thank you for
I have
celebrating.
to say though, this wasn't the best of, no, let me rephrase this. It was not a very generic prize that we were giving. It was very specific for kids on the block, or kids. And we will have more contests for people like Enid who don't have a Ravelry account.
Because we know we have some viewers that only see us on the blog. They don't have Ravelry, and we want to
include everybody.
Equal opportunity for them.
So we will be having future contests on the blog.
Yeah, that won't just be a knit book for kids.
No, we'll give yarn and stuff.
And so now I'm going to continue the Year of You theme. The next installment of the Mark and Angel Hack Life Practical Tips for Productive Living. The article is called 30 Things to Stop Doing to Yourself, and we're doing numbers 19 through 21. Number 19, stop letting others bring you down to their level. Refuse to lower your standards to accommodate people who refuse to raise theirs. I really like that. Don't cheapen yourself because other people are willing to cheapen themselves. Like if you feel really strongly about something, could be anything. Maybe you want other people's kids to call you Mrs. So-and-so. And I had a problem with this at work where I told my friends at work that my kids were going to address them as Ms. or Mrs. And a couple of them were offended by that because they felt that it was better for the kids. Like they would prefer to be called by their first name. And I said, but it's something I want to instill in my kids. And as it turns out, it depends on who the person is. But, I kind of let them decide how they wanted the kids to call them. And so I did kind of lower my standards to be with, that's kind of a weak example, but it holds true for a lot of things. Don't give up something that's really important to you that's like a character thing just because other people think that it's stupid.
What I do for my kids, because I similar to this, is something will happen and Max wants to retaliate, and I say don't stoop to their level.
Yeah, it's this.
I said you are a better person than they are, and that's kind of
it's
talking about the same thing.
It's the same
Basically,
thing.
don't bring yourself down to his level. It's like you're better than them. Show that you're better than them and do the right thing, and that usually gets them out of that.
That's exactly it. If you have catty people at your kid's school, for example, don't be catty back. Just let it go. That's number 19. Number 20, stop wasting time explaining yourself to others. This is a really good one. Your friends don't need an explanation for the things that you do or believe, and your enemies won't believe it anyway. So don't bother to explain. Do what you know in your heart is right. And that's kind of on a similar vein,
Yeah, be better.
Be true to yourself and know that if it's what you feel is right to do, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. Yeah. Don't even bother. I really like that your enemies won't believe it anyway, because they won't.
True.
So that's number 20. Number 21, this was my absolute favorite. Stop doing the same things over and over without taking a break. This is what happened to me the first time I tried to knit lace. The time to take a deep breath is when you don't have time for it. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. Sometimes you need to distance yourself to see things clearly. That is true with everything in life, but especially with knitting. If you're really having problems dealing with something, put it down, take a few deep breaths, let it go. It's
Put
like
it in
that.
timeout.
Yeah, put it in timeout. Feel free to do that. Don't feel like you have to fight through it. Sometimes you just need to let it gel for a little bit. Maybe ask somebody to look at it with their fresh eyes to see what it is that's holding you up.
They're back.
We're almost done. But that's a good one. And it reminds me of the insanity. It reminds me of the insanity quote. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. So don't let yourself fall into that trap. And our kids are just back. So that's pretty much it for Gossip and Innuendo. Thanks for sticking with us this far into the episode. Roxanne, don't forget to PM me about your address.
What did you say?
I finished up.
Okay. Well, thank you for checking us out again, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Our contact information is on the top of the blog.
What about here?
It's the other way. It's over there more. It's over Sheila's head, mostly.
Don't forget to get your socks in.
Oh, yeah. Get them in by the end of the week.
And we'll have a prize drawing for you guys next week. So
yeah.
Thanks for watching. Knit with Heart.
Knit with Heart. Bye.
Bye.